In my experience, I've observed normies tend to use a modified version of Hanlon's razor, which goes, always attribute to ignorance and do not hold accountable that which is better explained by evil. How can that razor be broken?
All right, so you're Canadian and you didn't finish your question with an A. So actually you're from Vancouver, so you didn't finish your question with a hey. There's regional differences, east-west Canada. As you guys are probably figuring out, I'm a fairly big fan of Canada. I really have like this desire to liberate Canada. I don't know why. It's like I went there a couple times and it's really communist, and now I'm like, we got to save Canada. But I'm teasing. Yeah, so Hanlon's razor. Man, did you hit something I like to get mad about. So Hanlon's razor says never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity or incompetence. All right, so let's just start. You're not in good atomized liberalism, building off of the last question, you're not supposed to criticize the source, right? That's called the genetic fallacy. You're not supposed to say, well, where did Hanlon's razor come from? They might shed some context on what it is, right? It came from the book Murphy's Law, Book 2. Hanlon's razor is a joke. It is literally a joke. And it has become the philosophical principle that stops us from recognizing the deliberate actions of lots of people that are moving our societies this way on purpose. Oh yeah, so Joe Biden's like literally a vegetable, therefore he can't be doing bad things or having bad things done through the pen in his hand by other bad actors. Kamala Harris is a Valley Girl ditz. Justin Trudeau is just like a cute boy from Toronto or wherever the hell he's from, looking all nice and wearing his funny socks. They can't be evil tyrants. Look how they're smiling. George Bernard Shaw sounds like a kindly little English gentleman who doesn't want to punish a single person, but there's extraordinarily many that I wish to kill. They can hide behind this image of incompetence or kindliness or idiocy or being a literal dementia vegetable and do tremendous evil because people have over-relied on never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by incompetence. Because it turns out you can explain almost everything that goes wrong according to incompetence. Now, the communist version of this would be never attribute to failures of ideology what can be adequately blamed on your inferiors, which is exactly incompetence of your inferiors or subversive motives of your inferiors, mostly the latter. And we saw where that impulse got them. This is a very similar kind of problem. As a direct answer to that, I like to point out, like, you should probably realize that you should only take Hanlon's razor a little bit seriously because it comes from a joke. Yeah, you don't want to accuse people of things. The real principle is the assumption of innocence, right? But there's also the fact that Hanlon's razor's exact wording says, never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by incompetence. How do you get a global movement in 193 member states, as the United Nations would call them, where the exact same thing is happening everywhere, in everything, all at once, and chalk that up to incompetence? How is it that every channel on the TV says exactly the same thing and they all turn on a dime because of general incompetence? If this was incompetence, it would be creation of lots of errors. Errors would point in lots of directions. Every error points in one direction here. I don't think this can even be adequately explained by incompetence. It has to be explained by at least directedness. And given the outcome, I think that the directedness can be attributed, at least in some points, to malice. So I think that helps overcome it. But I do really think it's important for people to understand, and I rant about this all the time. Hanlon's razor came from a book of jokes. And that's my main answer.